like most disorganised people, I like lists an awful lot, and they also keep me in check in terms of time. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think secrets are, and then maybe mention some ones in particular. So I suppose as a journalist, secrets are your currency, really. You gain power by knowing something other people don't. You gain power by getting people to tell you things that they really shouldn't. Their secrets or someone else's, preferably. That could be an anonymous source from the HSE telling you about a court case that's coming up that might go under the radar, but that you should probably go to it. Or it could be a pure person giving you a little tidbit about a rival client, or a politician saying something controversial to you late at night, generally somewhere on Bagot Street. If I'm interviewing someone who's particularly standoffish, instead of probing them, I just stop talking. Because you'd be amazed at things that people will blurt out to fill an awkward silence. They start answering questions that you never even asked. That's rooting out secrets. Telling them is a slightly different story. And we have different clearance levels for our friends and our family. It's kind of a bit like working in the Pentagon. Some doors will open with your swipe card, others will set off an alarm when you try and get in. And, we use our secrets, in our social interactions. They're kind of like catacombs. People are allowed access just to the corridors, or for some other people, every single nook and cranny is kind of wide open. We trade secrets for trust and use them to build relationships. But secrets have a way of travelling quicker than any other piece of information. They kind of run around the place like cars in a Skeletrix set. And I bet that everyone here knows something about a friend or a colleague or a family member that the person they know it about has no idea it isn't a secret anymore. And we tuck them inside us, kind of like photos in a locket. And when we see the person, you're kind of thinking, I know that thing about you. You don't know that I know. So they can be hugely destructive, but they're also kind of thrilling. And the reason they travel so fast is that, on our kind of internal circuit boards, when we find something out, this LED light goes off that's like, pass it on, pass it on. And George Orwell said that if you want to keep a secret, you must hide it from yourself. I think my late grandmother put it more succinctly when, if you told her a secret or something outrageous, she used to say, sure, you'd believe your own lies. So secret lives. When my girlfriend was 18 in Dublin in 1989, there was a lesbian club upstairs in J.J. Smith's. So I was asking Sarah about this today. She sent me a text describing the club. It was Saturday nights upstairs in J.J. Smith's on Ainger Street, £1.50 in, £1 for the unwaged. It was very smoky, everyone drank pints, and there was always a fight. I don't think it had a name, it was just JJ's. You just knew about it. Or if you wanted to find out, you rang the lesbian line, which was an actual thing. Anyway, every week the DJ would blast out a country music song by Billy Joe Spears called Put Your Blanket on the Ground, which Sarah says she initially found odd until she noticed the collective rowdiness that took over the room as most of the patrons sung the chorus in unison. And that chorus was, just because we're married don't mean we can't slip around, so let's walk out through the moonlight and lay the blanket on the ground. Just because we are married. Because unlike her, most of the patrons were married women. And this was their one outlet to live their secret lives. God only knows what they told their husbands at home to protect this secret. Because we're all born curious, so secrets only come later when we fear judgment. Secret affairs. My favourite secret affair is that of Eleanor Butler from the Butlers of Kilkenny Castle, and Sarah Ponsonby, an orphan who's 16 years her junior. And in 1778, they ran away together, hiding in stables and walking miles across field until they were found and dragged back by their families home. And later that year, they fled again and they moved to Llangollen in Wales. And they rebuilt a Gothic cottage, dedicated their lives to art and language and literature, and their model of sustainable living in their kitchen garden and small dairy. Their secret life absolutely scandalised Ireland at the time. They counted Wordsworth, Shelley, Byron and Wedgwood amongst their frequent visitors in this secret cottage where they lived together for over 50 years. And when they died, the people looking at the cottage found their matching glassware and books that featured both of their monogrammed initials. Other secret affairs aren't so dainty. My friend Vickey was working as a barmaid in the George, and she used to get so exasperated by the number of middle-aged heterosexual couples who frequented the bar during the day, a gay bar being the perfect setting for an extramarital affair. Even if they were spotted by someone, well, what was that person doing at a gay bar in the middle of the day? They would both then carry each other's secret dalliances. Secret sex. There's a disused tunnel that goes from underneath the Custom House to Foley Street. And you'd wonder why it was there, apart from then when you think that Foley Street was Monto, was Dublin's red light district. Because men from the Custom House seeking prostitutes wouldn't want to be seen walking the short trip from the quays to Foley Street. Secret jobs. Alois Hitler, Adolf's half-brother, was a waiter at the Shelburne Hotel. Bon Iver worked in a mobile phone shop in Eyre Square in Galway. When I worked in a job that I hated, which was cleaning out the vegetable fridge in Super Value in Dean's Grange, I despised it so much that I eventually asked my dad to walk to the shop, which was less than 5 minutes from my house, and tell the manager that I couldn't go in anymore because I was sick. Asked what was wrong with me, he kind of over-egged the situation by telling the manager that I'd broken both of my legs in an accident that he couldn't talk about. So I had to wait 2 months until I went back to Super Value again. And when I did, I made sure I limped around the shop just in case there were any questions asked. Secrets mean so much in Ireland that we built a venue for them in our pubs. Come into the snug and I'll tell you something. Secret disobedience. In 1912, 21% of the British pension fund was being spent in Ireland, 21%. This happened because you qualified for a pension from the British Exchequer in Ireland if you were over 60. However, the Irish birth records the British had access to only started in 1865. So there are a lot of very youthful-looking 60-year-olds knocking around Ireland in 1912. Secret noises. The Nokia text alert, you know, is Morse code for SMS. The sound of your money being counted in an ATM is an audio file played to reassure you. The sound your car door makes when it slams is amplified by a cavity purposely created in the door to make it seem as though your car is more secure than it is. Secret stashes. Ireland has 6 tons of gold reserves. In 1968, we had 70 tons. Go figure what happened with that. Google has secret cyclists. Google has 2,500 staff in Dublin city centre, but only 12 car parking spaces. Secret pets. There's a monkey sanctuary in Wicklow made up of 30 man-made islands and a man-made lake. Supermarkets in Bray donate petty falloos to, and a local woman sends hard-boiled eggs to the sanctuary every morning. Talking to an ISPCA rescue guy in charge of exotic animals a few years ago, he told me that secret pets were all over the place, in particular criminals. One drug dealer kept an alligator to encourage clients in the red to pay up their debts. He also once found a gorilla in a woman's garage in Limerick. Of course, sometimes you think that you have a secret to tell, this burning piece of information that feels like you have one ring to rule them all in your pocket. But generally, when you tell someone, they just say, "Sure, I knew that already."